Greetings. Well, it's Tuesday, so that means it's tea time with Tina. Thank you for joining me. I am Coach Tina, striving always to be the best coach ever. I am founder of Crossing Time Coaching, and you can find me on all of my social media platforms Instagram, Facebook, and my website under Crossing Time Coaching. I am a spiritual life coach, and I want to be the best coach ever for you or for anyone you think could use my services to help support you as you are striving and setting goals to move forward in your life. Think about how coaching may be beneficial for you. So on Tuesdays, I talk a little bit with you about a topic of interest that I introduced to you on the previous Thursday with 2 Minutes with Tina. You can find me on my YouTube channel, and I post these up Tuesdays and Thursdays, hoping just to give you some insight on how to improve your life, work better within your life, wherever you are through your journey in life, to be the best you can be. So last week, what did we talk about? We talked about coming out of our comfort zone. I hope you had some interesting thoughts about that, and that maybe you have decided you want to stretch a little bit after hearing what I talked about and shared with you. We've got to take risks sometimes. We've got to push ourselves to be uncomfortable, to become comfortable. And I talked about the benefits of coming and stretching yourself outside of your comfort zones, how it helps us to develop new skills. It increases our creativity. It builds our resilience. It can improve our focus, and it can drive efficiency. So why wouldn't you want to do that? If you missed it, check it out on my YouTube channel and subscribe. I would love to see you every week. Again, Tea Time with Tina on Tuesdays. So what am I talking about this week? This week, I want to talk about a concept you may not have considered, but you maybe in passing think about it in a way, but it's not at the forefront of your thought. Well, I want to bring it front and center today, and I want to talk about stillness. The importance of stillness and how it can help us in our day-to-day interactions and just to bring peace within our life. I remember when my sons were young, I used to always tell them, be still. Just be still, when I could sense they were becoming anxiety ridden about something and they weren't quite sure what to do, and their body language was starting to change. And I would just say, stop, breathe in, exhale, and be still. Being still really, really has huge benefits for us. So I want to talk about some of those things today. We're going to first start out with the importance of stillness and the power that it has when we start to practice it. 2, how do we go about practicing stillness in our everyday life? And 3, what is one of the best ways to get me there? So let's jump right in. The importance of stillness. And by the way, I'm outside again on my backyard patio, so you're going to hear the birds chirping because it's another gorgeous day here. It's so beautiful, and any opportunity I get to come sit out in nature while I'm working on my full-time job, I definitely want to breathe in, which helps me to be still as I'm working. So here we are. Think about it. We're constantly moving in life. I mean, it's from one thing to the next. What we've had to do recently in this past year in the pandemic is that it forced us to slow down. It did force us to sit and be still. It was out of our hands. We had no control. But when we think about how we're ready to get back out there and what some people are calling get back to their normal or their new normal, that may feel like going back to that old way of working and moving and living and acting and thinking. But what we want to do is we may want to reconsider the importance of being still and not going back to some of those old ways and behaviors and habits of how we used to do life. And think about some of the benefits that you have gained by learning how to be still and sit still. We have technology. It's constantly evolving. It's just in an evolutionary state. You get one phone, and the next thing you know, 6 months later, there's an upgrade to that. You get a computer, the next thing, 9 months, there's another one faster, bigger, better. So, we've got all of this technology that keeps moving and going, and we're encompassed in it and entrenched in it just from all the social media, from just looking on our phones. We can communicate with people, from the blogs to the podcasts with earphones in on our laptop, listening to music. And it's just a constantness that we have of being in a state of busyness and distraction. Because really, you can't really do but one thing well at any given time. And as all these other stimuli are coming into you, think about it. How really focused, how really quiet are you being? And how well can you do with having all of this information just falling within you? Even when you're laying in the bed, think about it. And you're scrolling through your Instagram or you're scrolling through your mail, you're not really being still. Even though you feel you're resting. And we talked about this a little bit in our rest and relaxation conversation. But what we need to do is we really have to learn how being still can help support and possibly for some save our mental health. Because it's getting crazy and crazier. And we have to take back control of ourselves and be the best we can be within ourselves. So how do we lean into stillness? How do we start this? How do we begin the practice of it? Well, it starts really with the stillness of the mind. We must learn how to quiet our thoughts as well as quieting our body. So how do we begin that? We begin by being fully present, as I said. Putting away all of the multitude and ways of getting information and listening to information and allowing information to come into us. But stilling the mind, being present in the moment. We're usually thinking about the past or we're thinking about the future. We're not really in the here and the now, in the moment. We're here physically, but are we physically present mentally, psychologically? Are we really invested in what we're doing and where we are in the moment? So being here in the now is a great way to begin to be fully present, starting the practice of becoming still in your mind. What can I do next? I can simplify. Exactly what I said. Get rid of all the other noise. Stop of having to be in this one and that spot in this place, trying to feed all this information. You're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're on Messenger. You're trying to get all this in. Rome wasn't built in a day, but you can take it one step at a time and you can begin to simplify your processes. Put one thing down. Challenge yourself. If you are on your laptop and you are working, stay on that laptop. Be focused on what you're working on. Don't try to look at your phone. Don't try to get on social media on the side. Stay focused. Because after all, after a while it gets to be very heavy laden. And while you think you're okay, your mind is racing. So let's become present. Let's begin to simplify. And then we can start to sit quietly in the midst of silence. As my voice is lowering, it's because the outside noises have begun to lower. All I'm hearing is the chirping of birds. And I'm smelling the beauty of creation through the trees, through the flowers. I'm listening to the bees buzzing around. That's quiet even because I'm in the midst of nature. It doesn't have to be in a room isolated with the door closed. You can be right where you are and you can begin to be still in the quiet, in the silence, within your mind, because now you've gotten rid of the excess noise through the phones in our technology. Now that's the stillness of the mind. The other way we begin to become still and practice stillness is we go through the stillness of the spirit, which is really, really the root and the core of how we get to our best place of becoming still in the moment. Talk to God. If you're a believer and you trust and you know our Father, then talk to him, because he is the one, the Spirit of God is the ultimate one that will still us. Start in developing a spiritual routine. I have encouraged you from my first tea time with Tina. I've shared with you just how much better life is with a relationship with Christ. And within that, he wants us to be our best. But it requires us to be silent in the stillness, to let him still our soul and our spirit, to talk to him, to free ourselves of any issues or thoughts that we may be burdening ourselves with unnecessarily that's causing us that stress. Hand it over to him. He knows the outcome before you know it. Practice gratitude. Being grateful for the little things, for the big things, for all things, really, really helps us to be still in the moment and to appreciate where we are in the moment. From the moment your eyes open in the morning to the time you close them at night, you should be saying, thank you. I'm so grateful for the goodness of this day, for the beauty of this day, for all the things I've been able to accomplish and to do and to support others in this day. You know, we should have that glass half full perspective on all things, whether they're hurtful, whether they're painful, whatever it is. We're going to have trials and challenges, and we're going to have discomfort in our life. But it's all a matter of who is your anchor. And that's where Christ can be that anchor that keeps you grounded, knowing that whatever you're going through, be it illness, and we will have that in our life, or others that we love may go through some difficult times that way. But being able to practice gratitude for being there, knowing who God is to get us through it, that in itself brings us a place of stillness. And then we begin to relinquish control of things in our life. Wow, we have no control over anything anyway, but what we do have some control over is our mindset and our perspective about things in our life. Whatever we're encountering, whatever is happening, I do have control over that. How my attitude is going to be about it, in it, through it, until I come out of it. Am I going to be a victim in it, or am I going to be a survivor through it? Am I going to learn from it, or am I going to keep myself in the trenches of it? Am I going to rise above it? Or if I'm going to sit still and be pitiful in it? No, let go. Let go of the things that you can't control and put things that you can control ahead of it. Begin to cultivate your own peace by allowing yourself to move into those places of stillness in your mind, in your spirit, and then in your body. That's our other area that we have to learn to be still within. Rest in nature, folks. I'll say it and I'll continue to say it. Wherever you are, wherever you may live, whatever it is, your sweet spot, that you can get outside, that you can breathe in the fresh air, even in the winter time, even when it's cold, whatever it may be, find time to get outside so that you have that opportunity to be in nature. And as we're shifting into spring to summer now, it's a wonderful time to allow yourself to take a walk. As I've shared with you many times, I start my morning on a walk, and I'm in nature just to hear the water flowing in the stream, to hear the birds chirping early in the morning singing, to see the dawning of a glorious new day. That's stillness in the moment of nature, because my body is relaxed, my mind is still, and my spirit is connected to the one who created it all. And then touch. Touch can still us. The soothing feeling of touching something, the physical power of touching someone, having a massage, wonderful way to be still in the moment. Cuddling up with a pet, being next to your spouse, hugging your children. That's a still moment to embrace and enjoy. And then in our body, stretching. We don't have to do a lot of hard pounding of exercise. Stretching with the flow. Walking, running, doing yoga, Pilates, whatever it may be for yourself. But that allows us to be still, which gives us a better rest at night in our sleep. It's calming our mind, our body, and our spirit. So, there we are. Stillness. Stillness of the mind, stillness in the spirit, stillness in the body. Brings us to a calming place, a calming disposition, and just an overall better place to be daily in our life. Something you can do and implement right away and consciously think about is just doing some quick, deep breathing to calm yourself, to calm your spirit, and to get you back into a better place. And that just means sitting still, being still, and just inhaling and exhaling. Sometimes I just sit and I breathe in and I exhale out slowly. Try it 3 times in succession and then slowly build up and be still in the moment. See how you feel when you're done. And I bet you'll say, I appreciated being still in the moment. Well, that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this time with me. I would love to see your comments there. Tell me how you feel. Tell me if you're practicing any of the things that I've been sharing with you at these moments of Tea Time with Tina. And as always, Coach Tina is here for you if you would like my services, Crossing Time Coaching. And as always, tea time, because I'm striving to be the best coach ever. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next week.